Hello world. Okay, trying to figure out the best way how I want to do that little intro thing, figuring it out. It's gonna be different every time. But if you haven't figured out why I start with hello world every time, maybe I'll let you in on that little Easter egg at some point. But curious if you have any guesses, go ahead and leave them down below. Still feels weird saying stuff like that. Admitting that these videos are meant for YouTube. It's such a crazy prospect. It's the sort of thing that I don't know if I'd say dream. Here's the trailer again. That's a reference to the last video, so go check that one out if you haven't. See? There, done it again. I wouldn't say it was a dream to make YouTube videos, but it is something that I'd considered for a while now. Seeing other people do them. And, that's kind of, learning from others, right? Learning from the environment we're in is kind of an important aspect of our lives to consider. Now, I'll have to think about what word I'm referring to with this idea. That's my problem for later when I upload this and I have to title this thing. But in life, we become, I wouldn't say an average, but like the people around us. We learn from our environment and the people around us, whether we realize it or not. We become the average, for lack of a better word, of the people we spend the most time with. This is something that, from what I can tell, there have been studies. I haven't seen the direct studies, but I'm pretty sure I've seen people refer to them. And, maybe that's something I do want to start doing, is getting proper studies referenced on this channel. But the name of the channel is Reed Harston because it's me. It's just me talking about the stuff that I've learned in my own life. And I can definitely say that it's something I learned in my own life. Honestly, I didn't realize at the time that I was onto something that others knew too. But I started realizing this back in high school. Maybe end of middle school. I just remember being at my friend's house and thinking about this, and then on multiple occasions thought about it again. And just the idea that I was one way with one group of friends at church and a different way with my friend at school. I was adapting, right? I was adapting to the environment I was in. And I felt weird, feeling like I was kind of two different people in those two different situations. And then if you count at home, I don't know which I was more like at home. Probably some combination of the two. And it's hard for me to say if it was more like I was one person and just different parts of me kind of came through in these different places. But when I was with my friend, there were definitely things that I would do with him because that's what he liked to do, that I just never sought out on my own at home. Like the type of music we listened to, the games we played together, that sort of thing. There are things that on my own I wouldn't have. And part of that might have been just trying to please him. Did not, try not to be confrontational. Say, oh, well, he's my friend because of X, Y, and Z, and I don't want to put any strain on our relationship, so I'll just go ahead and go with the flow. We know each other well enough now that I since learned I can I can speak up for what I want to do, and if we don't want to do the same thing right then, that's totally fine. Especially now that we've both moved on to different locations and have our own families. But we have talked about things that I want to talk about, namely things about religion and the Bible that I never talked about when I was younger. Probably mostly because I was young. I was a bit too scared. I might, scare him off maybe. Found the dark spot. But at church, it felt so much easier to talk about things about gospel, things about God and Jesus Christ, because, well, obviously that's why we're there. So the friends that I made while I was there, I'd talk about those things and wouldn't listen to the same music or play the same games. But who was I? Like, underneath it all, who was I? That was, who am I? But that was the question I would ask back then. There's, honestly, still times I kind of wonder that myself. Still, underneath it all, underneath everything that I'm doing right now for work, and, well, it wasn't until recently I started trying to do new things in my free time, because what's such a thing as free time? Well, don't know if I'd call it free time in the same sense that kids call it, like go out to play, but go do the things that I want to do. That's why I started waking up early. Started coming out, taking these walks, going out and doing exercise, and doing things that I feel like will actually make my life better in some way, and not just going out and having fun just for fun. Found things that I enjoy doing, but improve me in some way, and then I get a feeling of satisfaction from that. And it's been made so much easier by finding people and communities of people that are trying to do that too, right? I have found communities online, and like they've got this Slack group and the exercise group that I go out to on Tuesday, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays, which is why I do walks the other days. That are the type of people like what I want to be, that inspire me. Specifically, the exercise group I go out to is called F3, Fitness, Fellowship, and Faith. Those are 3 things every man needs to get the most out of his life, to be the best man he can be, right? We need fitness to be in shape and strong and prepared for the physical challenges that are in front of us. We need fellowship to buoy each other up and do the sorts of things that I'm talking about here, where together we learn from each other and we can strengthen each other and become the average of a good group of men. Not that any of us are anywhere near perfect, but we do our best to be the sort of man that we need to be for our families and our community. So through fellowship with that sort of person, that sort of man, I can become a better version of myself as well. And then faith, because as people like to say it at F3, the group doesn't prescribe to any one type of religion, just that we as men need to understand we aren't the center of the universe. We aren't the source of all strength, truth, and knowledge. To avoid pride, to be humble, and recognize that there is a God above. There is someone in charge. There is someone who has all the power and strength and knowledge, and he's there to support us and help us and love us, right? Or however you see the power of God in your life. But I testify that that is true. He is our Father. He loves us and he supports us. And as we find community, we find the group of people we want to become, we can grow, right? As we stay in the groups and the communities that we're used to, that we've always been in, it might not be a bad place, it might not be bad people, or they might. If you take an evaluation of the people around you and think about the things they do they do the things that you want? You know, is it your work community? Is it the people in your neighborhood? What do they do with their free time? Do they make free time? What is it that they do to love and support their families and the community around them? Are they inspiring you to be the best version of yourself? Or do they make it harder to stick to the changes that you want to make in your life? Think about that. Think about the things that you want with your life, the goals you've set, the changes you want to realize, and are the people around you helping or hindering? And think carefully about the time you spend with them and how you can find someone that is where you want to be. And that can change over time. As you grow, you'll change, and you'll recognize that there are new things that you need to do and learn. You can only learn from the people that you actually interact with. In the case of the comments about doing this whole YouTube thing and talking like a YouTuber, well, I've spent a fair amount of time listening to people on YouTube. So I've learned some of the ways from them. And now I guess I'm joining that community. So what sort of community do you want to be in? What sort of person do you want to be? Who do you want to learn from? Well, I want to be a Christian. I want to be identified as a follower of Christ, as a disciple of Christ. That's why I go to church every Sunday. It's one group I have always belonged to and always will belong to, is a community of Christ, right? I belong to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but I invite whoever you are, whatever church you belong to, if you follow Christ, keep it up, keep following him. Keep doing the things that you need to do to become closer to God. And maybe think about the things you need to start doing to become closer to God. Become part of his people, and you'll become the best version of yourself you could possibly be. So that's my invitation, my challenge, and I leave that with you, and have a great day. Bye.